Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you, Ranjini. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm very happy to connect with you on LinkedIn. And I think it's more than a month now. And it's great to talk to you today and share your expertise with my audience. So, quickly tell me, where are you joining from and what do you do? Let people know.
All right. I'm a life coach and facilitator. I've been in the life coaching in for a decade now. This will be my 8th year in the coaching industry, and I've seen the twists and turn in the industry. But it has been a lovely experience working with different people from different parts of the world. Coaching did that for me. So coaching made it possible. Yeah. And I've been working with leaders and CEOs for many years. So I know how it is to be in the leadership space. I've been there for more than 10 years now, working with leaders.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, I met Simon for my audience on LinkedIn over a casual message, and we got over a call, and then we got to learn more about each other as peers in this industry, buddies. And I invited him for a podcast where you can share, no, you could share your expertise, share the philosophy and the thought process you have behind your coaching practice. So, getting started, Simon, I want you to know you are focusing on identity and clarity as the foundation of success. So, uh, tell me a little bit about no, this perspective you have about no leadership, so that our audience can get to learn more from you.
Wow. So here's my perspective. The first thing I came to understand working with a lot of leaders is a lot of times leaders turn into performance based. We get into the doing, just getting things done, and never anchoring it back to who we truly are, what we truly want. And over sometimes we start from the place of passion, and then over the years we get sidetracked by the noise, the external noise, and we start producing things, we start creating products, we start leading externally. And for people who have companies, CEOs, founders, they tend to jeer off the track that got them started. And it's only a matter of time, right? They become very frustrated. They begin to feel very empty. So you see leaders who have everything supposedly sorted out, they still feel very depressed. They still feel very anxious. They still feel very confused. And they don't get the satisfaction that they're supposed to get from doing what they're doing. And that's because there's an emptiness internally that's happening. About leadership is if it brings us meaning. The only way it can bring meaning to other people is if it means something to us. So we are supposed to lead within, without, not the other way around. So
Wonderful.
yeah, when we find peace in leading, we are able to give peace when we lead. But when we don't have peace, it's only a matter of time. The people we lead, we are still going to transfer that emptiness to them. So that's the reason why I'm always anchoring on lead from within. You have to find who you are, what you are leading for, why you are leading, and then lead from that place. But it has to be genuine, it has to be real, most especially in a noisy society like we have today. Yeah.
So yeah, I can completely relate to this coming from a corporate environment. The emptiness that you were sharing, it was there when I was in corporate, though I was not a team leader, but doing something, though the job, the position gave me a lot of, could fulfill a lot of my wants and needs, but the fulfillment, the peace, the true happiness we call, no, the true one, the true one was not there. And eventually, I had to look at, working on my identity, my clarity, my foundation, like where things are not aligned. So great. So when it comes to anchoring over building, so do you can you little bit elaborate on it, like like how do you do it, like, or how do you teach or practice this in your training and coaching programs, like that, generally people are celebrating the hustle and the achievements, like the focus, as you started the conversation, achievement and hustling versus anchoring and building. How, like, how do you do it in your coaching?
Okay, so one thing that's my driving philosophy, it's the fact that speed is not an advantage when you are in the wrong direction,
Okay.
right? So um, when we talk about pace, it's not an advantage when you are not in the right place. And anchoring means focusing on meaning over momentum,
Hmm.
right? If you focus on the meaning why you are doing what you are doing, grounded from who you are, it means more to the society. That way, when you do business with people, there's a conscience. When you do transaction with people, there is value system added to it. That way, people are able to connect with you at a deeper level beyond just trading, beyond just exchange, right? Our culture today glorifies making it big, making it fast, but unanchored ambition is dangerous. Why? You tend to become troublesome. You tend to become, you tend to lose value in the process of time. And when you lose value, anything goes, right? The reason why we see our society the way it is today is because many people who are at the top has lost value. There's no culture system, there's no value system. Things like integrity no longer matters so long the money comes in, so long the transaction is done. But when you lead from who you truly are, at the core of our humanity, we are love. We are loving people. At the core of our humanity, we are connection driven, right? At the core of our humanity, we are teleological, which means we are purpose driven. And if we lose that core in chasing what I call the vanity matrix, more money, more fame, more cars, more everything on the external, it's only a matter of time,
Hmm.
right? We begin to feel emptiness.
Hmm.
We begin to feel disconnection. And for people who end up not feeling disconnected, right? They feel frustrated and they get to the office, every other person suffers. So here's the thing:
Yeah.
hurting people hurt others. Confused leaders will confuse others. Leaders who are in pain will bring pain to other people. So what I do when I coach, I like to help people go back to who they truly are. And the way I do that, the first thing I do is create silence. We are noisy. Naturally, we are noisy. If we can come back to a little bit of silence, a little less work every day, we'll get to connect back to who we truly are. So the first thing I do with my clients, I tell them, let's create silence. And how do we create silence? We declutter, right? We remove the things that are not supposed to be there, right? You work 24 hours of 7 days. The first thing I do is, can we work maybe 12 hours today and use the other 12 hours? If you work 12 hours, can we work and use the other 6 hours to stay calm? Stay calm means no music. Stay calm means no sound. Just you with a piece of paper or a book with a pen, and just hear yourself for once. Just hear yourself. Become more well, become more mindful, become more conscious. That's the first thing I do. So anchoring is about um, returning to what is immovable. Your values, your design, your essence. It's about asking, what do I want to feel like? Who am I truly? Not just what I want to look like, not just what the society wants me to be or feel like, but who am I truly at the core of my being? What am my values? Right.
This is so beautiful and powerful. Like I was just today, few hours ago, before I was talking about the same thing. Like no, working less and being as a leader. I think this practice is something very important as you want to grow your business. You want to have more in your life. So it's more about doing less and really looking at how you can connecting with yourself and really finding those solutions that can help you scale. Very beautiful. So when it comes to no like today's leadership narrative, like as we have been speaking, like there are things missing. But as we build this new paradigm and deeply aligned leadership, what other things that you would suggest that can bring a shift and bring clarity, and clarity becomes your compass?
Okay. So here's the first thing. When you ask that question, something came to my mind. If we build for legacy, if we build transgenerational companies, transgenerational businesses, right? If we're building for legacy, we'll be more conscious how we build, what we build. Because right now you're careful about the image you're portraying out there. So building for legacy is the first perspective shift I want us to have. When you build transgenerational businesses and you're looking at a business that transcends your existence, say 500 years from
Yeah.
now, a business is still going to be thriving. What is it going to be founded upon? Right? What is it going to be founded upon? What is the core of this business? What's going to make it sustainable that it's going to span through the test of time and stay strong? When you look at every business that has stayed for many years, for centuries, the, the founders of this business were more focused about legacy more than making money.
Hmm.
I know we start businesses to make
Yeah.
money. I'm not taking that fact away. But when you are building for legacy, you will make money also. But when you focus on money, you will fizzle out in very short period of time. You could make money, but it's just going to be a generation. It's not going to be a business that can be moved to another person. Because say this is an example. Say you work with a leader who is hurting, who is confused, who has a misalignment, and you don't feel comfortable as a staff working with this leader. When they die and you are told to come back and work in that company, you wouldn't want to work
Hmm.
because you have an image in your head of the experiences you had. And when someone wants to go work there, even if that leader is not in that company, you're still going to say, don't work there because of your experiences. So it's now a transgenerational thing,
Hmm.
but it's in a negative sense. But when it's a positive sense, it's also transgenerational. And then you say, I worked there, I had a wonderful experience. I worked there, I had a beautiful experience. All right? It's still going to be transgenerational. So when we put legacy as a priority, one thing, everything works perfectly.
Very nice. And I think this is something that is common with both of us, that we are helping business owners and coaches build a legacy brand. And maybe I think we both shared the same lessons with our students. So moving on, I want to know, like, if someone is watching this live or maybe on a replay and they feel like they need to realign or look at their business perspective, so how do they reach to you? Tell us how they can connect with you, and what would be the first thing that you're going to tell them as you start working with them?
Hmm. The first thing I do is I ask a question. When there is nothing, no money, no performance, no accolades, no awards, no competition. Who are you when you are bare? Who are you? That's the very first question,
Hmm.
right? And that goes to say, what will you do when there's nobody watching
Hmm.
you? First question, what will you do? When we are able to identify what you would do when nobody is watching you, What are your values? Is the next question I ask. What are these important things to you that you wouldn't live against? What are these things you hold so dear that you wouldn't turn your back on? What are the values that drive your life on a daily basis? When we identify that, we move on to what mindset made you drive far from those values? What mindset, what belief system is stopping you from living up to that authentic self that you are, where there's nobody? What are you trying to perform over or against or before, right? We understand those factors. And when we are able to understand this is the mindset, but this is who I truly am when there is nobody, and then we ask the question, what's stopping you from being that person? And most times you hear people say things like, but the algorithm says,
Mm.
but the business world
Okay.
says, but the billionaire
Mm.
says, but this on social media, right? So most times we are living, um I say this, we live below means in this context. We live below means just so that we can meet up to a standard that is never really meant for our favor,
Mm.
right? And when you look at it from who am I at the core, and you build a business, we come back and say, what type of business would this person who is genuinely here without the noise, without the accolades, without the competition, without
Mm.
anything, who is this person? And then we get the answer of this is the person. What kind of a business would this person do? And then you list the kind of business you would do. What are the values you would want to run this business? You list out the values. And we say, how can we implement it into the business you're currently running and anchor you
Mm.
back? Right? So at the end of the day, it's at a mental level, at an emotional level, at a spiritual level,
Yeah.
right? So it's at these three levels that you really anchor yourself down to who you truly are. Emotional, but let's start it from the spiritual, right? The spiritual. And then we move to the emotional, and then we move to the mental, right? Who are you? These are the three things I say makes up the man. These three things makes you who you are. Your emotion, your spirituality, and your mentality. When you look at that, you're good to go. When clarity becomes the compass, right? Decision stops being reactive and start becoming rooted.
Mm.
You stop asking, what should I do next?
Yeah.
Who should I talk to next? And then you start asking, what truly aligns with me? What truly makes my heart
Mm.
beat? The truth is, Ranjini, anything can make you
Mm.
money if only you are willing to stay committed and anchor yourself deep. Anything can make you money. Anything. You can make money in any industry.
Yeah.
When you talk about wealth, you have to talk about investment. But when you talk about building or generating income, anything can make you money if you do it well enough. So the fear of not being good enough is coming from the lack of understanding of who you
Yeah.
truly are, your soul power, your energy, what you're emitting in the society, what you should give back to society. That's my perspective.
Wonderful. Very beautiful. I'm sure people working with you have a great time and amazing results. So, those of you who are watching this live on YouTube or LinkedIn, he's available on LinkedIn. You can reach out to him, and he's just a message away. So, moving on, I want to know, like, if someone is looking to really find how to find my purpose, like, no, this is a question. So, now, what would be your message to them if people have been pondering about this?
Okay, so um, I wrote a book, still not um, published, but I've been working on it. And I said something. One of the mistakes a lot of people make is being in one of these two extremes that I'm going to mention. And what's the extreme? For the people who are very spiritual, they say things like, I want God, or I want the creator of the universe. I want the universe to tell me what I should do with my life, what purpose I should be living for. That extreme is a very negative
Mhm.
extreme, right? And then there's other people at the other side of the extreme who say, um, Nothing. I just want to do anything. Anything I can do, I do it. And I feel anything I feel like doing, I just do it. I just do it. I just want to make money. That's another kind of extreme. But when we talk about purpose, so I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian, my belief. And there's something that the Holy Bible says as a Christian. It says, anything your hand findeth to do it with all diligence.
Mm.
Purpose is dynamic. You grow into it. It forms. It's like a sculptor, right? you, you put the piece of clay here and there, but you have an idea what you want to, and
Mm.
because purpose is dynamic, you don't find it in one day. And that's the mistake. People want to find their purpose and just be done with it. It doesn't work that way. You are journeying every day. One day you'll be, I told somebody, I am a coach now. I wasn't a coach 5 years, okay, 10 years ago. I wasn't a coach, but I
Yeah.
knew that I wanted to do coaching. 10 years ago, I was in the corporate sphere. I was working for people, right? I was managing organizations 10 years ago,
Yeah.
right? And then I moved from there. I started trying to start up one or two businesses that failed woefully, right? But it was still part of my process. I knew I wanted to be a coach. I knew that's part of my journey. But at that time, that part of me hadn't form. I had to
Mm.
experience certain things that will bring me into this journey today. And I told someone, very soon I'm going to be leaving coaching and training people to continue so that I can get into full time facilitations.
Mm.
And I moved from facilitation to becoming a full time um, entrepreneur where I don't do anything and there's systems working for me,
Wow.
to becoming a full time philanthropist. That's my journey, right? That is my process. When you understand that purpose is a process,
Mm.
what you're doing right now as a cleaner doesn't have to be the end of your journey. You don't even have to quit in most cases. You just have to stay through that process and move on to the next. Maybe you find yourself as the manager of an organization, but that still isn't your purpose. It's still not your end, right? You move on to becoming the owner of your own company. But if you want to know the general idea of what purpose is, this is what I say. Three things. Purpose is being able to know who you are per time. It's exploration.
Mm.
You find out, right? As you journey in your life, you find out. And then there's the three things, core factors that I base my company on. It's called live, LIVE, explore,
Mm.
and impact.
Wow. Beautiful. Beautiful. I think we lost him and we were almost closing the call. So, Simon, we had an amazing conversation. I don't know what happened that you had to drop off, but there was so much common in what he was talking and what I've been through as a coach in my previous career choices, and that has really helped me where I am today. And I'm sure we share similar lessons as entrepreneurs, as coaches. So if you like this conversation and you have anything to share, if you look forward to some topics to be discussed on this podcast, do share with me. I bring in every Friday a new guest and a new perspective from the education industry, especially coaches and consultants, and helping them share their stories, share their expertise, their niche, and the solutions that they offer. And this enlightens our community of coaches to just feel better and feel that you're not alone in this journey. We are all traveling together, creating impact, exploring, making life better for us and for others. So thank you so much, those of you who are watching till now, and I really appreciate you putting in your time to watch me every Friday. So I'll see you soon with a new guest next week. Till then, take care.